Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and I'm so excited to be bringing back to the show one of my favorite guests, Dr. Casey Pidich, who is a podiatrist and fellow shoe lover. I'm really excited to share her insights with you today on hiking and hiking shoes. Before I do that, though, I did want to remind those of you who are regular listeners and maybe forgot, or those of you who are new listeners, that the show's sponsor, my fitness company, Fit Armadillo, is hosting a live online group fitness class this coming Wednesday. That is July 31st, 2019. So if you haven't enjoyed a fitness class with us yet and are free on Wednesday night, and for some of you, it will be Thursday morning, depending on where in the world you are tuning in from. So be mindful of that. You can go over to fitarmadillo.com/classes and check the time in your time zone and see if you can't join us for Brianna's core workout class. It is limited to 11 participants, so you want to make sure that there's actually space, but you can head on over there, check that out. Brianna was actually just on the show a week ago today to share more about her fitness journey, what got her into fitness, and why she likes teaching the class that she's actually going to be teaching this coming week in particular. So if you want to meet Brianna a little bit more, you can do that before joining class. All right, guys. So my guest today, as I mentioned, is Dr. Casey Ann Pidich. Dr. Casey is a podiatrist in New York City with over 11 years of experience practicing. She has a shoe, style, and wellness blog on Instagram and a blog called the Glass Slipper Shoe Blog, which can be found by going to glassslippershoeblog.com. Well, Dr. Casey, thank you so much for coming back to the podcast. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I think last time we spoke, I was in Las Vegas, and now I'm in New York City.
Yeah, we've kind of had the opposite situation where you were in a hotel and now I'm in a hotel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Where are you now, Catherine?
I'm in Colorado, so just here for a few days. Nice. But yeah, I know it's so nice. I mean, I need a beach nearby to really consider living here, but or somewhere. But
yeah, it's awesome. Are you in Denver?
Yes, I am. Yep. So it's been.
Oh, I love Denver. Good restaurants there.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, well, we wanted to talk about, there's also some good mountains nearby and some hiking trails that I'm not going to enjoy this time because I'm going to be good to my foot that's overcoming that stress fracture, but hopefully next time.
Oh, yeah. I know. You're recovering from an injury. I'm so sorry. It's good that we did our podcast on them, though.
I know, right? I have all my tips now. I'll try to be compliant, right?
Exactly. Yes. So have you ever hiked around Colorado in the mountains?
No, I haven't. And I haven't done a ton of hiking like since I was in middle school, where I was part of a hiking club where I don't think it was very intense. So that's what is kind of the basis of our conversation today. I was like, you know what? I want to get some hiking shoes, but I don't really know, there's so many options and,
There's so many options. Yeah. So I grew up in the mountains of Pennsylvania. So it's on like the Appalachian, they're called the Pocono Mountains. It's on the Appalachian Mountain Trail. And it is so beautiful. It's a lot of lakes, a lot of mountains. And when we were little kids, my mom, she actually took us hiking all the time, but it was like more for berry picking.
Oh, fun.
She really made an effort to teach like me and my siblings how to pick different berries in the summer and how to like turn them into jam or pie.
Oh,
like,
wow.
We would actually learn to cook blueberry pie, blueberry jam, and have to pick the berries ourselves. And these were always like, because they were like free berries. So they're in the woods. So we actually had to go like deep into the woods to find these like secret blueberry bushes that my mom deemed were her blueberry bushes every summer.
That's so fun though. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. So this always like involved us putting a ton of bug spray on and wearing our high top sneakers since we were, look, you know, it was the 80s. And we had high top sneakers. So they're kind of like our hiking boots. So like we would be climbing over rocks, like ducking under bushes, jumping over streams, trying to get to these berry bushes that were like a mile deep into the woods. So that's like what we would do as kids, hiking. It was really fun. It was so adventurous. It was also kind of dangerous, like thinking like there's definitely black bears everywhere.
Oh, I would say, yeah. I mean, when I think of going and looking for berries, I think of, you know, there's a story I used to read when I was a kid called Blueberries for Sal. And Sal, I think, was the bear in the story, but there was definitely a bear, you know, bear cub. And so that's what it does make me think of. So
yeah, my mom just like took us through the woods all the time. So I kind of know how to hike, and I mean, I'm no expert whatsoever. I'm the girliest girl, you know, you've seen my Instagram. Growing up in Pennsylvania, we learned to do this as kids. And so as an adult, I thought I'd invest in some real hiking boots, and I love them. And last weekend, I told my mom, I said, I'm going to do a podcast on hiking boots. She's like, yeah, come to Pennsylvania. We'll go hiking. I'll take you in my canoe. We'll go around the lake. So she was so excited about doing it. And she took these like photos of me and like my hiking boots.
I love it.
But, yeah, it was really fun. So if you're going to go buy some hiking boots, what I suggest is there's actually 3 types of hiking boots, and it really depends on like where you're going, what you're doing.
Sure.
Okay. The first type of hiking boots aren't technically boots. They're called hiking shoes. And they're similar to sneakers, and they're usually like pretty lightweight.
Okay.
I don't really understand the hiking shoe phenomenon.
Hi, friends, it's Catherine, and I'm just butting in here on Dr. Casey to remind you that if you're joining us for an out and back walk and only have 15 minutes, you will want to turn around now because we're about 7.5 minutes into the episode. All right, back to Dr. Casey.
It doesn't really, they just seem like sneakers to me, but apparently they have like really good traction on the bottom.
Okay.
They don't really make a lot of sense, but there's this huge movement of people doing these like really long linear tracks. So they're not actually going up a lot of hills. And a lot of them are like trails already.
Okay.
So, and they're doing these like very long linear hikes, and sometimes running through the woods.
Okay.
In these hiking shoes. So, and it is a type of hiking boot, sort of. I wouldn't call it a boot. It's more of like a shoe. And then the other type is the most common type. This is the type that I have. This is the type that I will be talking about. It's called a day hiking boot. This is like your what you picture as like a hiking boot. It has ankle support. It can be used for light backpacking, and they're the most type of hiking boot. So that's probably something you'd want to be interested in buying. The other type of hiking boot are for backpackers. So this is if you're doing, if you plan on doing like an overnight or a couple of night hike, this is the type of boot you want because you're going to have to carry a pack on your back. This pack is going to be it's going to be weighted. So if this is more for like a higher level hikers that need to carry a blanket, a tent, survival kit, and they're carrying like a 20-pound pack on their back. These type of hiking boots are really supportive. They're much more supportive than the day hiking boots and the hiking shoes. They are much stiffer and heavier. Because they're good for like on or off trails. So they're very stiff bottom, but they're actually a little bit heavier.
Okay.
Because you want that added support only because you're actually adding like 20 pounds of hiking gear to your back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. So what type of hiking are you looking at doing? Like, is there like a certain terrain that you want to go hiking in? Because that can also be dependent on what type of boot you want as well.
Yeah, for me, I mean, personally, just being able to get out there and have more traction than my running shoes have. You know what I mean?
So you might actually be okay with just hiking shoes.
Okay.
Or if you're going to spend the day hiking, like with your husband, boyfriend, friends, then maybe do day hiking boots, especially if you're going to be going up and down hills, or like off trails where there's a lot of rocks. You definitely want some ankle support if it's like a rocky terrain. If it's a flat terrain, then you can probably get away with just plain old sneakers or the hiking shoes.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So I went over the weekend and my mom took me to this place called Greensboro Lake. It's absolutely beautiful. It's this big lake in the Poconos and we hiked around it. The berries weren't ready. The berries weren't ripe yet. Neither were the raspberries, surprisingly. So we didn't go berry picking, but we did hike around and we went into she has some kayaks. So we went into her kayaks. We went on the lake. It's really beautiful. You see all the lily pads on the lake, like just absolutely stunning. And I did have my hiking boots with me. I had my day hiking boots. So these are things that you want to look for if you are buying a pair of hiking boots. You want to make sure if you're not doing the hiking boots for and you're not going backpacking, this is just a general overview for the day hiking boots, something that you want to look for. So these are good qualities. You want to make sure that they're lightweight. If they're super heavy, your legs are going to start to burn like halfway through your hike. You'll definitely feel some pain in your quads and your glutes. And you also have to remember, when you hike, you're going in a circle. So if you start to feel pain on your way out, you're going to be really feeling it on the way back. Okay, especially if you're going downhill. Usually you should go uphill first and then downhill. And if your shoes are heavy, you want them to be like sort of like medium lightweight. Okay, a little heavier than a sneaker, but not as heavy as like a heavy snow boot. Okay, you want something with good traction. So you're going to be in different terrain, and you're going to encounter water. You're going to encounter like slippery rocks, moss. You might have to like jump over streams. So you want something with really good traction on the bottom. You also want something with toe support. So that means like if you want like some added like rubber on the toe part of the shoe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Can you picture it? So like when your toes are more susceptible to injury, you might bang into a rock or like anything on the ground. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sticks, a lot of debris everywhere. Even if you're in the desert, there can be things, a lot of rocks that you can stub your toe on. You want to make sure it keeps your feet dry because you're going to be sweating. Your feet are going to be and you might also have to you also want something breathable. Again, the sweating. You also want a stiffer sole on your hiking boot. So it's going to be stiffer than a running shoe. A stiffer sole can add some stability to the hiking boot, okay? And fit is really important for hiking boots. So when you want to go try on your hiking boots, there are some people that actually are experts in boot fitting. So if you go to one of the major stores like REI or, Dick's Sporting Goods, there are people that will actually be there to help fit your boot. You want it to be snug, not tight, and you also want to be able to wiggle your toes.
Got it.
Okay.
So would it be a little bit bigger? Because I know for me, for running shoes, I try to go half a size up. Is that a similar thing you do for a fit for your hiking shoes?
What I would do is I would try them on after work when your feet are swollen. Okay. Make sure the tongue is pulled all the way up in the shoe. Try them on. You want them to fit right to your skin. You want to feel support on your ankle. Okay. You also want to remember that you're going to be wearing socks with these boots. So I would suggest to invest in some socks. and that I'll get to that in a little bit. Invest in some socks, and also try them on with your boots. Okay. You want to make sure you can wiggle your toes. That's the most important thing. And you want to make sure your toes aren't pushing up against like any surfaces, okay, of the boot. You want to be able to actually move them a little bit. Because again, your feet will get swollen. And so the best thing to do is try them on at the end of the day.
Sure.
If they are suede or leather, don't wear them the first day of your hike. You kind of want to break them in. So wear them. You know, it's kind of cool to wear hiking boots with like a little shorts and a top.
Right.
That was just in Colorado where you are.
Yep. Stylish. Yep.
Exactly. Mountain chic. You wear them running errands, going to the grocery store, wear them out to a bar, you know, just hours before you take them on your trek to break them in. Okay. Ankle support is incredibly important with a day hiking boot because most ankle sprains occur when someone's really not wearing the proper type of shoe in their hike. Okay.
I say our major concern with the hiking shoes that we have the ankle support. Then that's what.
Yeah. So that's why I was a little confused about hiking shoes because there's no ankle support on them. There's very little ankle support on them.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm sort of curious why they put them in the same category. I think it's more, these are just shoes with like incredibly good traction on the bottom.
Got it.
Like way more traction than you would use to like a running sneaker. Like you don't want you want minimal traction because you're running, right?
Right.
So it's just like a different type of traction. I think that's why they put them in that category of hiking.
Sure.
They call them hiking shoes. They're not technically boots. So two things can happen to your feet. These are the most common things that can happen when you're hiking to your feet. You might develop blisters and ankle sprains. Those are the two most common things that I've seen just doing my research. And the most important thing with socks. So one of the things to prevent blisters is to wear non-cotton socks. You want something synthetic, which is surprising. It's kind of like questionable, but the whole reason is because cotton will absorb water and it will absorb sweat and it can stay wet. The synthetic sock will actually wick away moisture and it will keep your feet very dry. So that's one important thing to prevent blisters. Another thing to prevent blisters is we talked about the fit of the boots. Make sure there's enough wiggle room, but it's not super tight. And also cut your toenails really short.
I know that as a runner, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know.
You want to make sure your toenails are cut because if they're long, what's going to happen is when you're going downhill in your hiking boots, your nails are going to jam into your boot and it can actually cause your nails to fall out. So that's one thing you want to make sure you do before you
not fun.
Yeah. And also if there's something called moleskin, which I use in practice. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. Yeah. Yep.
So do you want to describe it so you can tell the?
Well, I feel like it's something that you would use like after you got a blister to kind of help protect the skin. Is that?
Exactly. So moleskin is sort of like a second skin. You can use it in two ways. So if you're hiking and you have this irritation in your boot, you can there's a sticky side to the moleskin and then there's like a soft side. So the sticky side you can actually stick in your boot. So it's not like rubbing on your shoe where you have the irritation.
Got it.
Or they also use it to cover a blister. If you end up getting a blister, there's ways to treat it, and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. There's so many ways to treat blisters when you actually get one and you're on a hike. Personally, you're on a hike, things are dirty, you don't have sterility.
Yeah.
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 I mean, you can kind of picture it, right?
Don't take things into your own hands. Yeah.
Don't take things into your own hands. Just, if you get a blister, cover it with gauze or cover it with a moleskin. You don't have to pop it. And just let it be until you get to see a physician or a doctor, until you're home at least and things are clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just don't want an infection. You never want to pop a blister that has like a kind of either a bloody substance or a milky looking substance that can cause horrible infection. So don't do that. But yeah, the best thing to do is to just cover it with moleskin or gauze and put some first aid antibiotic ointment on it, which is usually in a first aid kit anyway when you're hiking. Do we have time to do ankle sprains?
Yeah, if you do, yeah.
Okay. All right. So the second thing is, God forbid you're hiking and someone slips during your hiking trek and sprains their ankle. This happens. Don't panic, because a lot of times it's going to be a pretty mild ankle sprain. So an ankle sprain is when the ankle either turns in or turns out. It's called inversion or eversion, and it over inverts or it over everts. There's different grades of sprains. I won't get into it because we don't have enough time, but a lot of times it's going to be a mild sprain, and just have your friend or have yourself lie down and just elevate the injured part. You can take off the boot and the sock to see what, just to kind of assess the damage.
Sure.
And what you want to do is, has this ever happened to you before?
I'm trying to think. When have yes, I have sprained my ankle. I'm trying like on a run, versus a hike, but just, not very far from home. And just, it was hard to put
it was
pressure
during a hike?
during a run, actually, on flat surface. I don't know what I did, but
it can happen anywhere. I was just be walking down the street and sprain your ankle. It happens. It totally happens. But if it happens to you when you're hiking, most likely you have some water on you. So apply like a cold water, elevate your foot for about 20 minutes and keep that cold water on your foot. And then you can remove it after 20 minutes. You don't want to keep it on longer than that. See how bad the pain is when you stand up. And then have someone apply, like if you have a first aid kit, apply gauze or an elastic ankle wrap. And you always want to start a wrap starting near the toes and then work your way up to kind of stabilize the ankle. You always want to make sure it's not too loose, because you want to stabilize that joint, but you also don't want to make sure it's like too tight. You want circulation coming to your toes. And if it's if something looks disformed or disfigured, it's better just to not move the person and just call for help.
Sure.
If you have any question that it doesn't look good, or it's incredibly bruised, or the bone looks out of place, just get help. Like, don't move the person. It's just not a good idea. So those are the two things that can happen when you are hiking. Ankle sprains and blisters. There are good things to do to prevent ankle sprains is always, strengthen your muscles, try to get in shape before your hike, right?
Sure. Yeah, no, of course. I support that as a personal trainer.
Yeah, right. And we talked about the wearing proper fit of your boots. Warm up your muscles too. So you're climbing. You're going to be climbing up steep inclines, down steep inclines. Just do some stretches to your calves. And, if you've learned from your past, if you've had injuries before, just take it slow. Like, you're basically going hiking. It's not a race.
Right. Yes. Take time to stop and, I guess, maybe pick some berries or take some pictures.
Yes. Have a snack.
Yeah.
So it's more for fun, just to prevent. People are usually going too fast when they get injured too. So
right.
Fun.
Yeah. No, awesome. Well, this is
Do you have any questions for me or anything about hiking boots, picking one out? I use Merrell. I have a Merrell. It's called the Moab 2, and it's waterproof. It's awesome. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole other thing is, are you going to buy waterproof or non-waterproof boots?
Yeah,
but again,
there's a lot.
Depends on your terrain, right?
It depends on your terrain, and it depends on the feel of the boot. Most boots are suede or leather.
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on, like I said, how much you're going to be carrying, what kind of comfort. You can always get an orthotic. There's a good brand that is, if you feel like the boots aren't giving you enough arch support, you can always get an orthotic by a podiatrist, or you can try Superfeet. That's a pretty good brand of orthotics for hiking boots as well.
Got it. And probably with the waterproof ones, that would be even more reason to make sure we have good socks, right? Because there's even less breathability. Yes.
Absolutely. I tried the Dr. Scholl's blister-free synthetic sock, and it was really comfy, actually.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. There's a lot of socks out there too. The best thing to do is just to ask someone that hikes often and go to try one of the boot fitters at one of the major stores. They're very helpful.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Casey, this was super fun. I'm definitely excited to go hiking boot shopping now and try to get some good hikes in without spraining my ankle or having crazy blisters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just prevention is key, and knowing how to avoid it, and just just go and have fun, and maybe you could come to Pennsylvania and come berry picking with me and my mom.
I know. I mean, I might have to hit you up the next time I'm in the area because I love hiking and fresh berries. Who can?
Oh, yes.
Can argue with that?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Catherine, for having me again on your podcast.
Yeah.
This was really fun.
And people, just real quick before we officially say goodbye, tell people where they can find you so they can follow you, even though I'll put it in the show notes, but just let them hear it one time first.
Sure. So my Instagram is called Dr. Glass Slipper. It's Dr.Glass_slipper. I've been a podiatrist for about 11 years in New York City, and it's all about shoe style and wellness. So I give little tips on shoe fitting and different types of shoes. I introduce brands, and it's super fun. And I also have a blog that is coming out, and it's called the Glass Slipper Shoe Blog, www.glassslippershoeblog.com.
Love it.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Casey. Hopefully we'll see you out on a hike soon.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and I hope you enjoyed Dr. Casey's tips. Wanted to remind you that Brianna has a core workout class this coming Wednesday, so don't forget to go check that out. Sign up if you can. You can learn all about that by going to fitarmadillo.com/classes. And if you didn't meet Brianna yet, you can go to last week's episode where she shared more about her journey to becoming a fitness professional and why she likes teaching that core workout class in particular, as well as some feedback that she's received from other past students of her classes. So hope you get to enjoy that. If you subscribe to the show already, you are awesome. If not, you can become awesome by subscribing today, and even more awesome by leaving a rating and review over on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to the show. And if you subscribe, I will chat with you tomorrow. We have some more episodes this week. All right. Chat more soon. Bye.